question to you, sir, is why was this necessitated? Any particular trigger, and does it have to do with the management change in Twitter?
No, look, first of all, I want to draw your attention to the fact that the amended IT rules have been under consultation for about 4 to 5 months now, and we commenced these consultations about March, April of 2022. As I have said repeatedly, Marya, that the jurisprudence and laws and rules in the internet and tech space will continue to evolve. In May 2021, we had the IT rules that were notified then. One of the key important elements of that was to improve the accountability relationship between intermediaries and the digital nagriks that use the platforms, and a grievance addressal mechanism and grievance officers were suggested to be appointed. We have noticed since May 21 to now that grievance addressal mechanism has not worked satisfactorily, and we have received hundreds and thousands of messages from digital nagriks that either complain that the platforms don't respond, or if they respond, it's a very tokenist approach towards addressing grievances. So it is, for us in the government of India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government, openness, safety and trust and accountability are the three broader boundary conditions by which we do all the policies and rules around the internet. And on accountability, we believe that there was a gap, and that is why we have brought the grievance appellate committee structure, which allows every consumer who is dissatisfied with the grievance addressal process of the intermediary to appeal.
Okay. Mr. Chandrasekhar, I'm looking at the tweets that were put out by IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav, and from you I want to know, what is the larger philosophy? How will the new rules change the social media dynamics from an Indian user point of view? What is the guiding philosophy behind the framing of the new rules?
No, the guiding philosophy, like I said, is that everything that the government of India does is to its duty to deliver an open, safe and trusted internet to all the digital nagriks, and an accountable internet to all the digital nagriks. And therefore, the amended IT rules deal with two of these issues. It deals with the accountability issue on the GAC, the Grievance Appellate Committee, and it talks about improving the safety and trust of the internet with a rewrite of Rule 3.1, where there is now a casted obligation, an expanded casted obligation on the intermediaries on the issue of the types of content their content moderation policies should prohibit. And we have talked about illegal content, pornography, anti-national security sensitive content. We have talked about misinformation, and we have also talked about content that will incite ill will between communities. We believe today, as a consequence of these rules, that intermediaries working with the government will make the internet and internet intermediaries operating on the internet much safer, much more trusted by the 80 crore Indians who are using it today, and the 120 crore Indians who will use the internet by 25-26. There is now a lot more obligation on the internet intermediary in terms of their role in ensuring illegal and misinformation content is prohibited or taken down from these platforms. And even if they miss the opportunity on the first time around, they are given an option to take it down in 72 hours after a misinformation or insightful content or illegal content is reported to them. So I think that is a very important step in making intermediaries partners with the government in making sure their platforms are safe and trusted platforms for all Indian citizens to use.
Yes, and Mr. Chandrasekhar, we have seen time and again, I would say, the big tech companies simply do not comply with regulations. How will you ensure they do so? Because the government has, in the new rules, added objectionable religious content, as you said, with intent to incite violence alongside pornography, trademark infringement, fake information, and something that could be a threat to sovereignty of the nation. My question is, how will you ensure compliance?
No, it's very simple, Marya. There is no the rules basically say you have to do this, and you have also got to, and you missed one addition to the amendment that we have issued yesterday, which is that no platform can violate Article 14, 19 or 21 constitutional rights of any Indian citizen, regardless of where the jurisdiction of the platform is. So if you read these two amendments together, and read it as being mandatory for all those platforms who want to enjoy the status of being an intermediary.
Okay.
If they don't comply with them, then automatically they lose the status of being an intermediary and therefore do not enjoy the Section 79 protection under the IT Act from prosecution that they enjoy today. Okay. So if you want to be an intermediary, these are the rules and responsibilities that you follow. If you want to be a responsible intermediary and a partner with the government in creating a safe and trusted space, you follow these rules. If you don't intend to be a partner with the government of India or partner with the Indian ecosystem in creating a safe and trusted internet for all Indians, then you can choose the route of not being an intermediary and therefore not enjoying the safe harbor under Section 79.
But the big tech companies, sir, have been advocating self-regulation. The government seems to have taken a view that users' concerns about content on social media platforms need to be addressed by a grievance appellate body. The government, I remember in February 2021, notified IT rules that provided for social media platforms to appoint a grievance officer. Do you think the amended rules will strengthen grievance redressal mechanism?
I'm hopeful, Marya, because the current grievance redressal mechanism, which is really a self-regulatory mechanism, the government gave the power to the intermediaries in May 2021 that they appoint the grievance officers, they address the grievances of the digital Nagriks.
Yes.
The results have not been satisfactory, so the government has to step in. I personally believe that, and I've said this repeatedly during the consultations and with meetings with the industry, that the government has no interest in sitting in the GAC. That we hope that the formation of the GAC will signal to the platforms and the intermediaries that they must do a better job of dealing with grievances at their level. Because if they do a better job at their level of dealing with grievances, no appeals will lie to the GAC.
Right.
The problem of appeals lies from dissatisfied consumers, dissatisfied digital Nagriks who believe that platforms are not listening to them, are not responding to them. And so I have hoped, and I am going to engage with intermediaries as well. I'm meeting platforms extensively, explaining to them that we really need to make this a partnership. The goal of a safe and trusted internet, Marya, is not a goal for the government of India. It is a goal for 1.2 billion Indians. It's a goal for $1 trillion digital economy, and it's a goal for jobs, investments that will create a $5 trillion economy for our nation. So none of this is academic. These are all real issues, and we look from the government to a partnership with intermediaries, a heightened awareness amongst intermediaries, and better responsiveness from the intermediaries that the issue of the digital Nagrik, who is the principal stakeholder of the Indian internet, the principal target of all our policies and initiatives, their grievances must be addressed responsively, consistently, and in a manner that is satisfactory to the consumer.
Yes.
So that is the direction in which we are going.
Yes.
Yes.
And since you have emphasized time, and this is, redressal in a time-bound manner, Mr. Chandrasekhar, the amendments actually provide for social media platforms to acknowledge user complaints about objectionable content within 24 hours and resolve them within 15 days, in fact, thereafter. The rules actually provide for social media platforms to take down certain contentious content within 72 hours of reporting. Do you expect the big tech companies to adhere to this? And what are the challenges going forward? The reason why I'm asking is because most of these companies do not even have officers to represent them here in India. They are represented largely by some law firms.
Yeah, so I hope that will change, and that is the intention of this. Like I said, the Prime Minister has made it very clear that the relationship of accountability between business and consumers is a relationship that the government takes very seriously. It is a duty that we consider it's our duty to the citizens to ensure that the accountability relationship works. And we hope that this grievance appellate committee structure, these amended rules, are a good signal to the intermediaries, and I will engage with them deeply, I will engage with them closely and say that, look, this is about being a partner in the progress of the Indian internet, in the evolution of the Indian internet, in terms of the growth, in terms of not just the numbers, but qualitative growth into being a safer and trusted internet than many other parts of the world. So this is a joint mission for the government, the citizens, and all of those who conduct business on the internet. So I see it that way, the government sees it that way, a large part of the intermediary community sees it that way. There are some outliers, and I hope the outliers will join the mainstream and do what is expected of them.
Sir, a couple of questions now. The IT rules changes have been in the works for months. Though ever since users red flagged instances, it is a fact that digital platforms have been acting arbitrarily. How will the latest move help to ensure that user concerns are addressed without their constitutional rights to free speech and expression being impinged on? Will we be able to get big tech companies to adhere to sovereign rules and not constantly allude to their community guidelines?
Yeah, so therefore that is precisely why we have embedded in the rules very unambiguously that no platform, no intermediary, regardless of the jurisdiction, if that platform is serving Indian consumers, that platform cannot violate any of the constitutional rights of any Indian citizens. And for explicit purposes, we have said Article 14, 19 and 21, right to non-discrimination, right to free speech and right to privacy cannot be violated by any platform regardless of their community guidelines, regardless of where their jurisdiction of origin or domicile is. We have put it in the rules. The government of India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is a trustee of the constitutional rights of every citizen, including digital nagriks and citizens who are connected to the internet. And we take that duty very seriously, and that is why the IT rules today unambiguously have a specific formulation that no platform can violate the constitutional rights of any Indian citizen.
Mr. Chandrasekhar, last question to you. How hopeful are you that the new rules will ensure suitable safeguards for digital nagriks, as you call them? That's a coinage certainly here. That big social media companies will not undermine the constitutional rights of citizens, and that internet must be a safe place, that it is not about those targeting violence and which is now very apparent and making it a difficult place for several.
I am optimistic, Marya. I am optimistic because this narrative, this vision of our Prime Minister of having an open, safe and trusted and accountable internet is now being echoed by many other countries around the world, including most recently the White House in the USA. This issue of safety and trust is becoming center stage because the internet was seen for many, many years as a force of good, and it's a place where good things happen. But we have also realized in the last several years that it is also a place where a lot of user harm, lot of targeting, lot of misinformation, lot of incitement also happens. And therefore it is necessary for us, and we are the largest connected democracy in the world today.
That's right.
We are with 800 million, 80 crore Indians online. We are the largest connected democracy in the world, and we will be the largest connected nation by 2025 with 120 crore Indians online. So it is, in a lot of ways, we are playing the leadership role and showing the way to the world by doing these things, by making our cyberspace a safe and trusted space for all Nagriks, the elderly, the woman, the student, all of them should be able to use our internet safely in a manner that they can trust what they consume online, and in a way they feel that the platforms that they use are accountable to them.
Now, I'm getting the CNN News 18 mega exclusive. I am being joined by the man in the center of this firestorm, Kerala Governor Arif Mohammed Khan is joining me live. Arif Sahab, really appreciate your time. Today you have sent show cause notices to vice chancellors of 2 more universities, asking them to explain why you must not remove them from their post. Your office had sent notices to 9 vice chancellors on Sunday, and they have got temporary relief from the Kerala High Court. The LDF government, sir, is saying that you are doing all this with a larger design. There is a purpose behind it.
They have every right to say whatever they like, but what I am doing, I have made it clear that Honorable Supreme Court in its judgment has clearly laid down the law. If the selection committee does not meet the requirements of the UGC regulation, and an appointment is made based on their recommendation, the words which Honorable Supreme Court has used are, it will be considered void ab initio. Right from day one, they are illegal occupant of the office. The second ground which they have given is that UGC regulation requirement is to make a panel of 3 to 5 names. If single name has been forwarded to the Chancellor and appointment is made of that person, that will also be considered as void ab initio. So the only thing that I am doing is to apply the law as laid down by Honorable Supreme Court in the case of the Technical University to all the universities. Similar, as Chancellor of the University, I am under obligation to take this step. But if any citizen of India goes to the court asking that this should be applied, then they would have been removed by after Supreme Court judgment, there is no escape route. So they are free to say whatever they feel like, because they have been using the universities for a long time for their own political ends. The recent example where an underqualified person, relative of the political secretary of the chief minister, was going to be appointed. In fact, the vice chancellor had announced that tomorrow we will issue the appointment order. So I stayed that. And not only I stayed that, because my order had not reached by that time to the university, the court, the Honorable High Court also stayed that order.
Arif Saab, the news reports that are coming from the ground are suggesting that the political class there, that the government has reportedly counseled the vice chancellors to ignore or overlook your order of seeking their resignations. Don't you feel that this will set the ground for a protracted legal battle with what many say would be far-reaching constitutional ramifications?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. I had tried to give them I had suggested an honorable exit. And therefore, I had requested them to submit their resignations by 11:30 in the morning on Sunday. Since they did not, they were directed, news has appeared. It is not the government which is directing them. It is the LDF, the political outfit. Every paper has carried this news that LDF has directed the vice chancellors not to heed to my letter. So they did not resign. And I have told them I will wait till 11:30. After that, I shall start taking whatever legal steps are needed or required in order to uphold the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. Therefore, after 11:30, show cause notices have been issued, and they are, and the matter also came before the Honorable High Court. The Honorable High Court has clearly said the power rests with the Chancellor. If you have any complaint against that, and mind it, I am not finding, Honorable Supreme Court has not found anything wrong with the qualifications of the incumbent. They have said that the procedure of appointment is erroneous. It conflicts with the UGC regulations. In my letter to them, I did not say that you are inefficient or you lack qualification. No, I said in order to uphold and to apply the law as laid down by Honorable Supreme Court, I am requesting, and remember it, that the words which have been used by Honorable Supreme Court are void ab initio. From day one, your appointment is illegal. What I had told them, I had tried to suggest to them an honorable way out, where they can resign, they can take sort of moral stand. The Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court has said so. Therefore, we feel that our appointment was also made in the same manner. We are submitting our resignation. I had suggested an honorable way out.
Okay.
They under the pressure of the LDF, they did not respond. So it's up to them. Now they have been given time to explain why this law should not be applied to them. And the date is 3rd of November.
Okay. So I'm looking at the statement coming from one of the Vice Chancellors. The VC of Kannur University has said, and I'm quoting him, if the decision is to remove me, then fire me. I will not resign. He says no state has dismissed all the VCs like this one in India. The Chancellor can fire Vice Chancellors, but there are certain fixed criteria. Don't you think the Chancellor's action will create uncertainty in the universities now?
He is only trying to create confusion. I have not sacked any Vice Chancellor. I have merely suggested to them that in the light of the decision of the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court, it will be good for you to resign. I have not sacked any Vice Chancellor. I have not found fault with any one of them. I have said only to uphold the Honorable Supreme Court's judgment and apply that law. The judgment by the Honorable Supreme Court becomes law of the land. So he is saying something which I have not done. This statement would have become maybe justified if I had sacked any of them. I have not sacked any Vice Chancellor.
Okay. Arif Saab, the LDF government is saying that all your actions are part of Sangh Parivar's agenda. How will you respond to that?
What they say, I need not comment on that. They are saying this since, I think they are saying it since November 2019. I had joined the office in September. So they have been continuously, they have been saying this because they found very early that they can't use me as a rubber stamp to regularize all the illegalities which they are committing. They are very upset with me because I stayed the appointment of the partner of the political secretary of the chief minister. So they are very upset with me. Let them take out their frustration. Why I should comment on it?
Okay. Sir, don't you think this disagreement which is going on between the government and the governor, and as you said, since November 2019, will affect the governance in Kerala?
There is no reason, because I am only insisting that you follow the law, you follow the rules, and they are used to, there are many instances and many reasons where they should feel upset with me. For instance, I'll give you the reasons. They wanted to give in cooperative societies, they want to give vote right to the government officers who are appointed as administrators. I said it will be like butchering the democracy. So I refuse to sign that.
All right, Arif Mohammad Khan, Kerala governor, in his fiery best, his first and only interview till now on this entire crisis that is happening in Kerala. Really appreciate your time, Arif Saab. Hope to interact with you with another issue when we see that happening. Thank you so much.